the divine feminine, all of it. It was just for that. It was a calling because I went away to Thailand. And then when I came back, it was just such beautiful people out there. It really touched my spirit. And I was having all these visions. And I said, I want to create a healing experience, a healing center. And I thought I was going to open up a brick and mortar again. And it wasn't that. It was the center was within me. And so once I realized that, the name came to me, Goddess Glow Up. It came to me in a dream. And I saw women coming together, sharing all their different medicines and offering their gifts. And this really deep place, a beautiful, beautiful, deep place of healing, but in a very modernized way, so that it was simplified, so that more women would want to come in rather than it be, you know, like you had to join this group or you had to be in this practice. It didn't matter what practice you were in. It didn't matter what walk of life you were in. And so that's how I promoted it. And so when I started it, and I was saying all women are welcome, I got shamed. There was some person on Facebook that posted a video about me, and they were so angry, and they were all like shaming me online right into my beginning stages. And I was so hurt by it. And they were shaming me, and, you know, just because I said that all women are welcome, you know, and they were shaming me, saying that I was wrong for allowing all women to come into the group. And that really hurt me a lot before, because I was in my beginning years, and I didn't expect it to be, you know, that kind of negativity. I wasn't expecting that because I was doing something super positive. So I wasn't expecting that kind of negativity to come my way. But that's what I received from it. And that was a sign to let me know that I was on the path. Like I was shaking things up. And that's what it gave to me. So I had to become strong. And then what I noticed is that women just started coming. They just happened to be Black and brown women that just started coming to Goddess Glow Up. And that's just what they just gravitated. And so in this way, other races didn't really feel as welcome. They may sprinkle in a little bit, but because of that, it held that space. It took on a life of its own. I didn't say it was this. I didn't say it's of that. And so I have friends of all cultures. I hang out with people of every race because I believe in that. You know, that's where I stand. But you know, we do have a lot of things to heal from when it comes to that area. You know, because even when I'm online and I'm with my Jewish friends or my white friends or all the other people that I'm with, if I'm working with a group that maybe it's not that many Black people in it, I get shamed. That happens. You know, they'll start saying negativity on my posts. I mean, I did an event. I was hosting a workshop with these men. I mean, these men asked for 4 divine feminine to hold the panel. And it was a men's group, and they asked me to be one of the women on the panel. And all these men were, part of their practice was to come and pay reverence to the divine feminine, or to like say sorry for anything they had done wrong to women. And they all got on their knees and gave a prayer. And as we sat on the pattern, it was beautiful. I posted this video, and it was a whole race war on the video, just because, you know, it was a race war. It was angry with me, like arguing with me, because I just happened to be facilitating the workshop. So this is the kind of stuff on the other side of that conversation that really exists. Mm-hmm. And the leadership around.
When I study the Yoni priestesses, right, and the understanding of the connection with that portal, if you can bring a baby into this realm, you got the approval of the prime creator to be one of the creator goddesses by molding life in your womb. Mm-hmm. If she turn your womb off, you ain't supposed to reproduce. Your seed's supposed to stop there. It's not accidental. The womb is the direct telephone line. They say Jesus on the main line. Jesus is Isis, queen of heaven and earth. And she tied to the women through the uterus. Mm-hmm. And most of us don't know what happened, what was called the great debauchery, that make us have to go through certain struggles that we go through. Mm-hmm. But in the end, you're going to find out it's going to be some people that don't look like us going to do all our bidding for us while we hating on them for what happened in the past that wasn't even led by the people we was told. Mm-hmm. So the great deception was using those tools of divisive tactics to separate us so we don't ever figure out what they're doing to us psychologically and sociologically. By keeping the community divided across any barrier you can come up with, you can maintain your control.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But that's going to go over a lot of people's heads. That's going to, like what you're saying, because I could even see, see it by the comments that it's going to go over a lot of, because it's a, and I understand. I understand. And I truly understand the resistance. I understand.
You know,
I
the most hard.
understand all sides of it. So I'm not on either side. I understand. I just understand,
When you get to the position where you're looking at the world and you analyzing it and you trying to figure out what was God thinking when this happened, and you stop taking sides in everybody else's bullshit, you start seeing so much clearer what's really going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our studies didn't prepare me for the reality that I had to face, that the worst enemy look like us, but they not us.
Mm-hmm.
Come to replace us by displacing us, by telling us that we from somewhere else all the time. We was already here.
Mm-hmm.
So they created this white supremacist doctrine, and they wasn't even the ones doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought that they was, because they was put up to be the cat's paw. But that goes into deeper understanding of human nature, the understanding of how people interact across barriers of all kinds. Because most of the barriers trace back to Babylon when they divided us up by language.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't enough, so they gave us religion.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't enough, so they separated the elders from the youth and sent the kids to some place called school.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't never looked up the word school to find out where it come from,
Mm-hmm.
to know what it means. And school is the English version of a Yiddish word called shul. And shul is the Yiddish variant of the Hebrew language for Sheol. And Sheol translates directly back to English as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So when they telling you that we sending our kids to hell, now you know why.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have no churches over here because we ain't need them. We ain't had no prisons over here because we ain't need them.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't had no police over here because we ain't need them. Now all of a sudden we supposed to need all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What they do to the people that make us need all this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't no big eyes and little U's on the land before the invaders came.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden you got different classifications of people: upper class, lower class, middle class, Democrat, Republican, Baptist, Pentecostal, Muslim, Hebrew. What is Jehovah's Witness? What is y'all doing? Somebody don't want us all to see the same thing, so they give us all the different lens to look through and tell us don't look through nobody else's lens.
Mm-hmm. That's the part. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm there. That's the deception right there. That's the deception right there. Right there.
My responsibility as one of the chiefs on the land is to study everything that influences all the people on the land.
Mm-hmm.
And racism was a part of the divide and conquer strategy of some people that look like us.
Mm-hmm.
And we fell for it. It worked. It was a good strategy. Mm-hmm. Until you find out Clayton Bigsby don't look like us. That changes the whole dynamic.
But some people ain't ready for that conversation, Rod.
I know, but I'm gonna give it to him anyway. Only because it's the truth. And Mama told me if I'm standing in the position to write and tell the truth, the Lord gonna handle the rest of it. So I ain't worried about it. Mm-hmm. Whether they ready for it or not, it's coming.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some maturity. It's going to take some spiritual maturity. So
that's what's been taking so long for the shift to happen, because the people got to be conscious and aware enough of what's really going on in the 3D before you can move to the 5D.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hit to a point of what they call critical mass before you can see the event horizon as it come into view.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point of no return. This conversation is important at this particular time for what's about to take place, because it's giving the people a glimpse into what communication between males and females is going to look like under the matriarchy versus what it looked like under patriarchy and feminism, which is two sides of the same coin. Matriarchy focus on the children.
Mm-hmm.
The women then encircle the children, and the men encircle the women. Concentric circles to the center. Ubuntu. When we one happy, we all happy. If one ain't happy, ain't none of us happy.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And that space that we get, that unconditional love that we have for each other, that we've been scared to show. I can't tell people I love you no more. I gotta say I love you for free. I love you just because I can.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't need no reason, because everybody else got a reason. They got conditional love.
Mm-hmm.
I love you until you do this, or I love you until you don't do that. That ain't love.
Mm-hmm.
That's fake love.
Yeah, this is true. I want to love you through it all.
Love you
Let's
just
love.
because.
Let's love and let's grow. Let me pass that over here real quick. Pass that over here.
They say pass the Dutchie on the left
Pass
hand
the
side.
touchy on the left hand side. Pass the touchy on the left hand side. All right,
Look,
y'all.
so what do you got coming up for the women so they'll be aware?
Okay. Okay, so listen what we have coming up. Let me sit my butt up. Okay. All right, y'all. I got real relaxed. Okay, y'all. Let me come back over before I close, because this gets so sleepy now. But this live has been so beautiful. I didn't want to get off. All right, so what I have going on, what's going up? Somebody said Juicy for Life. Yes. But they want to come to we had the virtual programs. We have the Juicy for Life, but those are for, that's the virtual. For the deeper level of our ceremonies and our work, what we have coming up is Atlanta. It's going to be the Goddess Glow Up. I'll speak on the monthly calls on Sunday. Hold on. Let me give them the stuff that they really need to look out for, because this is the bigger work that we do, where people gather in person, which is really necessary. We do our monthly. It was called Juicy in July. And that is, look at that. She's writing. She's like, look, you're going to tell him, because she's in my group. She's in my group, because she's like, you're going to tell him about Juicy in July. I mean, Juicy for Life. Because it used to be called Juicy in July. That was the whole detox program. And I made it into Juicy for Life so that women can remain juicy for life. So it's a mind, body, spirit maintenance makeover program where we work on our mantras, our meditation, our movement, move our bodies, our
They
day.
finna cut the video in 15 seconds, sweetie.
Oh, no. Why
It just,
15 seconds? Okay,
it just
look.
gave me a countdown.
Because you've been on here for a long time. But this is about
baton over to FEMA from the fallen government. So remember, they've been telling y'all about continuity of government. I'm talking about continuity of government, NORAD, continuity of government. When we've been passing these executive orders for continuity of government, this executive order is to strengthen the infrastructure for the continuity of government. Why in the fuck is they prepping us for the continuity of government shit, right? They prepping y'all so when you hear it, it won't be foreign to you. It's called desensitization. So they want y'all to be desensitized from the term, so when you hear it, you won't really be paying attention to what process is taking place. So you become numb to the processes. And so when you hear, it's just like if you always say something Every day you telling somebody, tomorrow I'm gonna have $1 million. Tomorrow I'm gonna have $1 million. When you finally get $1 million, they gonna be so like, yeah, okay, whatever. But when you show them the $1 million, they're gonna be like, holy shit, you talked yourself up on $1 million. So they gotta activate the psyche. It's a mind game. All this shit is a mind game. Activate the psyche to activate the continuity of government to activate FEMA. Now, how do Mother Nature compel them motherfuckers to move? She give you a disaster. Most of the heart shit around the world been turned off since 2017, but most of the people not aware of that. And CERN is not really running. They just telling y'all it's running because they had to close the portal. It's closed the age. They can't be letting people siphon the energy off and double back on their ass again. That's how they got fucked over the last time. So CERN is not really functioning, but they telling you it is. Just like Wall Street is not really functioning, but they telling you it is. You know, they got, you know, fake trading going on. They got these bankers, you know, paying motherfuckers cashing out just so they can keep the charade going. And you got this fake political system. DC closed. That motherfucker permanently closed. IRS is gone. The Federal Reserve is done with. All of the motherfuckers that was over here operating in a de facto capacity has already been served eviction. So yesterday when I posted the shoot to kill order on the Khazarian Mafia, the reason why I posted that, because it's a clock, it's a timer. It's telling you how critical the timing is. Whether the information in there is true or not becomes irrelevant, but the fact checkers ain't fact checked it yet. So that tell you something about that shit got to be valid, because the fact checkers ain't putting their artificial fact check on it. Why they ain't fact checking that shit? Right? Why they ain't saying the context is wrong or any of that shit that they be putting under flagging all of the information? Y'all got to pay attention to how they treat the information to determine the level of importance it is to know it, whether you deem it valid or not. If these motherfuckers is, remember, they killed one of my channels, got all my data that I got to go through a whole bunch of red tape to get back, videos and posts. But then I got the other channel. I can't even go live on that motherfucker, so I got to do all my lives over here. And I put something up about the Khazarians. And these is the known motherfuckers, the JDL motherfuckers that was stalking all of the celebrities and extorting them out of money, and the ones who didn't comply got murdered. They murdered Otis Redding. They murdered Sam Cooke. You know, they murdered Jimi Hendrix. They murdered Janis Joplin. Talking about they OD. Most of them so-called ODs is fucking artificial overdoses. We call them in the hood a hot shot. But y'all don't be knowing about that shit. Look, I've been around drug addicts, and I know these motherfuckers know how much dope to use. And they're going to use the amount necessary because they want to stretch that shit as far as they can. They're not just going to keep loading up on it. Heroin don't work like that. Right? That's how you do cocaine. Cocaine got what you call a guerrilla attack, hit and run. When you hit that motherfucker, it run your meter up, then it drop your meter back down. And it don't take long. An average cocaine high don't last 5 minutes. A heroin high lasts hours. That's why they switched up the choice of addiction that they wanted us to have. Under heroin, we was producing motherfuckers like Miles Davis, Billie Holiday, and motherfucking Gil Scott-Heron, the Jimi Hendrix. We producing people that's using the substance like a true vice lord, like a true person that's a lord of their vice. And they using it to spur them into alternate ways of looking at the world so they can indulge their creativity. And so they was giving them substances, but it didn't have the desired effect for oppression. It was what you call an ineffectual drug for oppression. It actually bred militancy in the addict. So when you listen to the addicts, the heroin addicts, poetry, they little essays they write, that shit be militant than a motherfucker. Cause they got an automatic built-in 24/7 attitude with that dope. As long as they high, they gonna come from the place of anger. So you have to learn how to read what they saying from the place of anger so we can use that emotional anger to our advantage. Because the motherfucker mad, he sees some shit another motherfucker ain't gonna never see. Right? So the Stafford Act is the act passed to institute the continuity of government and the emergency relief for the people. Now remember, they just had a hurricane, the Ian came through here. They got another one on the way. They got the tide still ain't came back in mass yet, because them motherfuckers coming. All of this shit about to happen at the same time they putting the national, this is what we want, this is what I want somebody, if you got somebody in the National Guard, tell them to keep their ear to the ground for this one, because I'm trying to see something. But they say that they starting to put alerts on National Guard members because, you know, domestic affairs, you can't use the military, you have to use the National Guard, that's their job. And unless we got invaded, a full-fledged invasion from somewhere, the National Guard job is to police